they apparently aren't as well dressed, I guess, as Macintosh fans. So suddenly you're a zealot, even though I have all my video games. So fuck Mac.
I was just thinking about that. Like, so where are you from? Oh, I'm from Bank of America.
Oh God.
Oh God.
I hate that.
I mean, if you could be any worse than being from Microsoft, you're being from Bank of America.
Hey, there is an email.
I used to be from BlackBerry.
Okay, so the show starts out with government insurgents. It's government terrorists. This guy makes a big speech on a camera. They blow up a building with like 10,000 people in it, and all in the name of trying to bring government back and overthrow the corporation.
That's where I find it really interesting that the
the
rebels are pro-government.
Yeah, the bad guys in this are pro-government. The good guys are pro-corporation.
Oh, wow.
So these bad guys that blow up the building, they get captured.
That way they're guaranteed advertisers.
They're about to be executed, and they pull off a time travel and suck in this cop with them. And they all go back to present-day Canada. The show from there, like,
go back to present day Canada. No,
the cop is like the terrorist
they have
group.
The best healthcare in the world.
Just kidding. We love Canada.
The terrorist group is called Liberate. The cop has a chip in her brain that actually records video data and keeps it for I think 72 hours, and transmits it so that there's never a question of anything like any cop misbehavior when they're arresting someone or guilty or not or anything like that. She has a number of future gadgets. Her whole suit, she can change the colors of it at any time. She has a touchpad clothing.
That's right. You told me about that.
Yeah, Dave was not happy about.
The touchpad clothing is actually very relevant now, even.
Well, and I don't know, it's neat. She has a little shock thing on her clothing too, and it's a cop suit, and it's built like emo style because its cuff goes over her thumb,
Nice.
But
God, what if you have to roll your sleeves up because you have to like put your hand like in a toilet? Now you just ruined your entire suit. And
then she has to have a mirror's edge tattoo.
She can also turn invisible and kind of deflect bullets
except
with
for her
it.
Head that's not in the suit.
No, it goes invisible too. But she's a mother and she's married, so her entire motivation throughout the series is getting back to her son. Her son is played by a young actor who says everything that a mother would want to hear their child say to make them love them more, which is my main fault with the series. But other than that, it's really good. Like the first few episodes, you get the feeling that the backdrop is really just backdrop and they aren't going to approach the corporate versus government issues. But as the series goes, it builds and builds and builds. You have one of the first people she makes contact with is the guy who invents this frequency that they use in the chips in their brain. Sadler. I can't remember the guy's first name, though.
Adam.
Oh, right. You've seen it, too. You've seen the first
No,
season.
I'm joking.
Oh.
I went Adam Sandler, the comedian.
Oh, no, it's not Adam, then. It's, I don't know.
He totally went with that.
We can just make stuff up.
I was going to say,
he'll agree with it.
Professor Schadenfreude.
Sadler. It's, oh, well, who cares?
Hold on. I have the internet on my phone just as much as you have it on your fucking computer, so.
What? You have the internet?
I do.
On your phone?
God, they don't even have this in the future on this show.
I have a series of tubes connected to my phone.
Neat. Tubes and glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so the second season just hit Netflix recently, and they haven't started the third season. The second season is so fucking amazing, because Liberate is just formed of these terrorists that are freaking bloodthirsty as hell, but then they start talking, and you're like, God damn, they make a little bit more sense than they should. On top of that...
Alec Sadler.
Yeah, that was it.
Wow, that really was close to the real name. I was just being a jackass.
It's neat because... oh, weird. I really should have read these emails beforehand.
Really?
She was born the same year I was born.
Yep. Ooh.
Don't know why that matters. I'm just saying.
I don't know who she is, but I like her.
Anyway, so while you guys are watching porn on yours,
yes.
Yeah, right.
I have to sell Continuum.
Oh yeah.
That's right. Keep selling it. Ooh. Well, it has Luvia Peterson in it.
Gotta hate you guys.
Whoever that is. She's got nice hair.
She's
though.
Jasmine Garza, for fuck's sake.
They're
Let's
actually
be more shallow.
There's actually a couple Whedon regulars in the series too.
Really?
They had I say Whedon regulars. They had a guy who was in what was that? He was in Dollhouse, and he was also in
Okay,
I feel like he was briefly in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. but it
not
might
fucking
have been.
around. John Cassini is in it. I've seen him in other stuff. He actually is a good actor.
It's also kind of a trip because basically the show, a lot of the backdrop for the show surrounds Alex Sadler and this other guy whose name I can't remember. I think his code name is Theseus.
Would you like to just look at the list of actors?
He's the Liberate guy. It doesn't matter. But basically, they have old versions and young versions of them. And the old actors they found look exactly like the young actors. Like, you can entirely see these people growing
Well
into
done,
each other.
Yeah.
The guy that got to play Theseus, at first I thought he was a really shitty actor. And then I started seeing him act as an adult later on. And he's actually a really, really dynamic actor. They've actually changed him into a very prolific, kind of modern-day movement guy. I don't know. It's such a good series. I'm excited for April. I hear they show it on Sci-Fi as well. I don't know if I could tolerate a week-to-week, but they left
I'll
on a
have to look for
pretty
it on
horrible
Sci-Fi then.
cliffhanger.
Because I am super retro and don't have things like Netflix.
It's
Netflix.
it's just a really good series. It has really good music in it too. On top
Christine
of all that,
Mahe is Theseus. Don't know her from anything offhand. And very blue eyes. Good lord, how did they?
Okay,
Is
so
that
this
just
is a big
color processing, or are they really that blue? Jeez.
this is a big section I'm going to edit out. Okay, I'm going to look for our first email.
Emails.
I love it. See, this is a thing. Is it an upshot or is it an upside or downside that anyone watching the live feed gets to hear us bumble through shit we don't really we didn't keep up with well enough.
And since I'm assuming you guys talk about weeding a lot.
Not on purpose.
Well, it's been a while since I've listened because I've been in town for a change.
Right.
So since I actually get to see you guys, I don't have to listen to the podcast to feel like I'm home. Did you guys see the Joss Whedon speech at the women's conference? Because that was beautiful.
That was.
Why he
actually a
keeps
really-
being asked over and over again why he writes strong female characters. And at the very end, the best comment that the question should be not that question. Why are you asking that question when the question should be to other people why they aren't?
Exactly.
And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's actually a really old speech. I've seen the whole, because the excerpt that's been going around is 6 minutes of a 30-minute or 40-minute thing.
Yeah.
Because it's at a
It's
conference.
just that section of him.
It's at a conference dedicated to his mom. And
Yeah.
this was back when I think he was just doing Buffy. I don't know if he'd even started Angel yet.
I thought
Wow.
I thought that happened the same year he did Firefly.
What year did Firefly come out?
Oh Jesus, I don't remember anymore.
Because this was
Good
early
Lord,
2000s.
yeah.
It was
I
about
think that was
then.
around Firefly time, early 2000s?
It-
Mid 2000s?
Something like it.
There's a
maybe-
decent chance.
Mid-aughts?
2002.
Okay.
2002.
That sounds right.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause I remembered that it had to have been about then.
honestly, that dude is so smart and clever. Like, any of his interviews, I think, are worth reading. Because
Yeah.
you will always learn something. Whether it's a new dynamic to humor or an opinion on fucking politics or women's rights. I
Well,
mean, it's great.
I have to say that one in particular gave me a whole new respect for him. And I never even thought about it as him writing strong female characters. For me, that's just... Yeah, why wouldn't you?
They're the best. They're the
Yeah.
most attractive. Powerful, confident women are the most attractive.
Oh, good Lord, yes.
I mean,
An intelligent woman for me just
See-
does it all for me.
See, and kind of like the way I put it, I try not to go further like they say powerful because you wind up with a lot of people misconstruing that as meaning dominant. And it doesn't have to be, but if that's part of it, then fine. Because
Yeah,
you've got to
that's
have
fine, too.
you've got to have both sides of men and women each. Because you can't always have guys being all "Murr, I'm a man," because it's just life doesn't work like
There's
that.
nothing like a woman who can throw you around a little bit.
yeah.
Well, the way I look at it, and I've used the term before, is competent.
Absolutely.
I
And there's no reason
when I can talk to a
and there's
girl
a ridiculous
and she knows
idea
what the
that-
fuck is going on and she knows what she's talking about.
And it's a
that is
ridiculous idea
huge
that
deal.
women are less competent, because I know a shitload
Yes.
of incompetent
Well,
men.
and
Yes.
My God.
Oh God.
the necessity, like, if you're a real person that's a woman that's not confident, we're not saying you're shit. The problem is
Correct.
just in our literature and fiction, there aren't enough competent women.
And
there
this
aren't
will
enough
bring us back to
confident
the
women.
feminist podcast
Well,
that we never
needs,
had.
there needs to be
that
ideals.
we meant to have and we didn't have.
Well, right, and if Joey were here, it would come back to the same thing that you and I would bring up time to time, which is women in refrigerators.
Yeah.
Gail Simone.
Yeah.
What?
She wrote. Gail Simone is a writer, and she's done a fair bit of impressive writing for DC. Was writing an entire story arc for DC over Batwoman, who is from the beginning been a lesbian character, and actually was going to get married, and DC pussed out at the last second, and they killed the story arc right before the wedding happened. Gail was rather pissed. I don't blame her. But Gail Simone had done an essay that turned into a website. Made the observation that most of the time women feature in comics as nothing more than, as she put it, to give the lead character man pain, so he can move forward to
Yeah.
go kill, give him cheap justification to go kill the villain.
and to fill out some tights.
But it became this thing where it was amazing how many times DC and Marvel had killed a girl in the storyline and shoved her in a refrigerator.
Well, it's not.
And that was, I mean, she
It was
actually
based.
was citing cases.
It was
of
actually
What,
one
like
specific.
literally shoved her in a
It
refrigerator?
was one instance actually of a woman being shoved in the refrigerator. It was Kyle Rayner's girlfriend.
Yes.
Well, hey, Indiana Jones survived a nuclear
Blast.
explosion in her
Well, this woman was
refrigerator,
killed and then
so-
stuffed into a refrigerator, and then he came home to her. But
Yep.
it's they've actually, if you look at Feminist Frequency, the YouTube channel,
Okay.
it actually is the same
No,
thing on
no.
gaming, where she brings out like. Starts pointing out, like, in her argument isn't that these storylines are wrong, it's just that they keep doing them repetitively
Yeah.
without any variation.
Yeah, because sometimes
And
it
she
is a
names-
relevant vehicle, but not
James
always.
dozens of examples of females being mutilated, killed, or beaten as motivation for the male protagonist. Of course, Kratos is brought up. They bring up
God.
the
Kratos can be used as a bad example for all things wrong with
But
they bring up
sexual
Bionic
equality.
Commando, the new one where
Oh, really?
his wife is actually his arm. She died.
By
for
the way,
his
this
motivation.
does remind me of something, a website I need to at least send to you, but you might be interested as well. I found a website on women who do synth music.
Really?
Yeah, and it has just a big list and information on women.
I'm married. I
who
don't know
use
that I need to
synthesizer,
look at
and
that.
That is porn.
That's just like a list I
that
jack
is
off
the
to.
most pornographic.
Time to
thing.
go.
That's
Nice.
So now everybody at home knows where we stand. Everybody listening, that women and synthesizers, yes.
Well, yeah.
You know, it's
Women
women
who
say
can, a woman who can program a good synth pad.
like a guy with a guitar they can say is
I'm yours.
10 times
I'm
sexier
yours.
than a guy without an instrument. Same with women.
Yeah.
Like-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, Imogen
Imogen
Heap being one quick,
Oh,
easy
yeah.
example. Plus, it helps that she is
Imogen
cute,
Heap,
but
Bat Flashes.
she actually is so good at what she does.
There was in Korea there was a metal band called Mad Cats, if I remember correctly, all female metal band.
There was a metal cover band I found in off on
Completely
the
in
West Coast, and it was all girls, and it was really primarily run by this girl on drums, and she's a hell of a drummer. She's really good. I wanted me to just go fucking A, wow.
okay.
But she had a girl with two girls with violins, electric violins, and they just like shredded the fuck out of metal tunes.
There's
So,
something sexy
Gabrielle
about
from
stringed instruments. I don't know.
Gabrielle from Rodrigo and Gabriella.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Apparently, I'm out of the loop on
Flamenco guitar, acoustic,
Okay.
Spanish guitar.
They're
work, and
basically a
it's
couple
really-
metalheads from Mexico who decided they wanted to travel and do acoustic guitar
This.
stuff.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And she does all the rhythm and slap work.
Wow.
and she is so good at it. I remember watching them on accident. I caught them on the Tonight Show probably like 8 years ago, and it was just I was dumbfounded by both of them.
Yeah, they're both fantastic players, but only one of them I would divorce my wife for. No, that's not true. That's not true.
Only one of them.
Oh,
That's-
that's not true. He'd divorce her for both. no, sorry.
Fine, bust me out.
Oh,
Okay.
God, I went for
we
the
need to
horrible
get
joke
into
there.
music more often on this.
As much as I love
quite frankly.
talking
Yeah, we
about
do.
the mating rituals of the human being, let's get to listener correspondence.